Economic development for modernisation in Thailand began with the first National Economic and Social Development Plan in 1961. The plan resulted in unbalanced development and rural communities were neglected. Young men of working age migrated to work in urban areas. Thai society turned to money as its main resource and became a consumption and materialist society. During this time, many people could not earn enough to cover their expenses, or found that their expenses always increased because they were spending for consumption all the time. This increased spending led people to become trapped in a cycle of debt, a situation much different to the past when they had depended on their own production of food, clothes, and other necessary things, and not mainly on cash. In the past, people had also mutually helped and shared with each other, which enabled them to live self-sufficiently within their communities. During the months of October and November 2005, Plan Thailand Phu Wiang office, together with the Capacity Building Department of Thai Fund Foundation, initiated a process for participatory community development planning in 6 villages in Phu Pha district of Khon Kaen Province. These villages were Nan Nam Sam Mai, Nan Nam Sam, Non Sa'at, Samputong Tai, Natali, and Satgekre. An objective of this planning process was to stimulate people in these villages to realise their capacity and use existing resources in the community for self-reliant oriented community development. This development approach is in line with the philosophy of a self-sufficient economy proposed and promoted by His Majesty the King to guide Thai people's way of living for more than 25 years. This has been his philosophy long before Thailand suffered from the economic crisis in 1997. His Majesty stresses the direction and actions we, as citizens, should take to deal with problems at all levels, from family to community and the nation state. The King also encourages the Thai people to develop and govern the country so that we will survive and live in a sustainable and secure manner under the strong current of globalization. Participatory community development planning process is based on the concept of self-sufficient economy. The process began by studying economic, social and cultural conditions of each of the target villages, including its resources and local wisdom. In this stage, resource persons who come from outside the village need to walk around surveying the community together with the villagers. Meetings were then organised for all community members, including children, women, old people and community leaders, both those appointed by the government and those recognised by the villagers themselves, to provide all aspects of information about the village. The information gathered from visual observation and listening to all groups of villagers was combined to obtain an overall picture of the community. This stage was therefore duly called Understanding of the Community's Realities. The next step was Community Development Planning. In this stage, it was necessary for the villagers to brainstorm and find out what were important problems affecting their livelihood and what were the causes of these problems, especially the main or root causes. Analysis of the problems and causes of the problems must be in-depth, and every villager should fully take part in the process. The villagers were therefore divided into 3 groups: a men's group, a women's group, and a children's group. A tool used to analyse problems was the problem tree. The tree is an analogy for structure of the problem. The roots of the tree are the causes of the problem, and they are often invisible and need thorough analysis to be identified. The tree trunk is the system or mechanisms that facilitate emergence of problems, while flowers are clearly seen effects or impacts of the problem. This analogy helps make problem analysis systematic and helps the villagers deeply understand the problems in their community. After the problem analysis is completed, the next step is to conjure a picture of the villagers' dreams of their ideal community. In practice, this process helps them envision the problems and negative conditions reversed into positive ones. In this stage, the villagers stayed divided into the same 3 groups to enable them to engage in continuous thinking from the first stage. When each group came up with a picture of their dream community, the 3 pictures put together to create an overall picture of a dream community. Now the villagers could see their common goals for the development of their community. When each group completed the planning process, they came together to present all of the projects in a plenary session. In this session, the villagers continued planning how to achieve their united goals and objectives, and how to coordinate implementation of the projects within the community. In this stage, the villagers set up a committee to execute their community development plans. This committee consists of representatives of each planned project and will meet regularly to monitor progress of work and solve any emerging problems or obstacles. This participatory community development planning process enables villagers to systematically understand the problems in their community and share common vision, responsibility, and unity with each other. It is a planning process that helps strengthen the community and causes villagers to think about relying on themselves rather than hoping to rely on others. To engage in this kind of planning, people involved in the process need to change their approach from high-risk investment to reap large incomes to simple living, which may not be rich but is self-reliant and carries no debt. Under a simpler rationale, production is primarily for sufficient household consumption and to generate only enough income to pay for other expenses. This rationale aims to create love, unity, and internal forces within the community, and also promotes the love and warmth of families. It is opposite to the capitalist development approach, which aims ultimately at richness, a goal that is impossible to achieve for everyone. Having faith in the community development approach is a crucial factor that leads to a strong and sustainable community where community members live well and happily in the end.